Hello, my friends. I hope you're having an amazing day. We've got a big one ahead of us. Of course, Donald Trump should be announcing his run for president tonight. Previously on the show, he teased us a bit. We thought that he was going to announce it when he was at that rally with J.D. Vance, but he didn't. And we were waiting for it with bated breath. But tonight is evidently the night. Going to be, my understanding is at 9 p.m. Eastern time. He's going to be making the announcement from Mar-a-Lago in Florida. And people are very curious as to how this is going to go, what he's going to say, how it's all going to unfold. Of course, we had heard from Jason Miller, who's a close advisor to Trump, and we played that clip of him. Well, we played several clips of him. First was that he should not be making this announcement right now. Same thing we heard from Kayleigh McEnany, who said that, he really should wait because we have to consider the Herschel Walker Senate seat, but then we don't really have to consider that anymore. Trump said, well, we don't really have to wait, even while that was up in the air. And then Herschel Walker, of course, is sort of irrelevant now, even if there is a rerun, because the Republicans have lost in other places, including here in Arizona. So does it really change anything? Does he still have to wait? Jason Miller came back out and said no, right? He's going to come out and he's going to announce very hard. And he said it's going to be a very formal affair, button down, get right into business, and we'll see. Now, I'm curious as to what, Trump's going to include in this speech, if he's going to moderate anything that we had seen previously from him, if he's going to change any of the issues or modify them in any way based on some of the feedback he's been getting, because I don't know if you've seen it, my friends, but there is a dog pile going on, and I don't think this is good or healthy for the Republican Party or for conservatism or for freedom or for libertarianism or for basically anybody who stands in opposition to bigger government, more government all the time to solve all of our problems. There should be a coalition of people who work together on the side of freedom, and I don't see that happening. In fact, I see it sort of clobbering itself to death right now. But a lot of people saying, Trump shouldn't be doing this, he shouldn't be running. Everywhere in, the morning newsletters, the morning headlines, you're seeing headlines and stories from people saying he should wait, consider this. There's sort of this endorsement battle going on. Representative Stefanik endorsed Trump. Trump just endorsed McCarthy. Sort of wants McCarthy to turn around and say, hey, thanks for that endorsement. Here's one right back for you, right? So we're playing that endorsement game, and we'll see, if that produces anything, because I feel like a lot of people are sort of hedging at the moment, waiting, not wanting to endorse. And this comes from a lot of people who, you would sort of expect to endorse Trump. There's been other people who sort of reversed themselves, very big supporters in 2016, 2020. But now they're saying, the country has kind of shifted. The narrative has changed a bit. So there seems like there's a lot of this kind of waiting, and I think that's appropriate. But I also don't think this is one of these situations where, this is a healthy, welcomed primary. You hear that a lot during these primary seasons. Everybody turns around and says, oh no, it's okay. It's okay if Obama and Hillary kill each other, because we want a nice, healthy primary. And we want to hash the issues out. And that's just what you call cope. It's when you go, oh man, this really sucks right now. It's like I'm stuck in a frozen block of ice, but at least I won't have to go to the ice maker, something like that. And it just doesn't really make sense. So the Republicans are starting to use that phrase. Oh, no. Like, we're curious about, we want to see Trump challenged, and we want to see DeSantis challenged, and everybody really put to the test, because we'll be stronger as a party when we come out of this thing. I'm not so sure about that. I don't think that's the reality at all. I think that what ultimately will happen if this continues on its current trajectory is that both sides slit each other so badly, cut each other so deeply, that they continue to bleed out well into the general election, because you have this division that's so deep that nobody wants to reconcile. And I think that if you have an indictment coming, if you have the DOJ that continues to sort of prosecute Trump, you have the Democrats like Jamie Raskin who continue to drive this massive wedge between everybody. We played that clip from Raskin yesterday on the show. He said, you know, Donald Trump might be Speaker of the House. And you go, come on. And CNN was entertaining that. Now, it's hard to understand, you know, I can see it both ways, right? You know, Raskin's a lawyer, constitutional professor, something or other, which doesn't mean anything. I had a great con law professor. Shout out to Cunningham, Professor Cunningham, wherever you are. But the point here is, what is Raskin really doing? Is he really concerned? You know, okay, he was on with CNN and he said, yeah, there is a real possibility that Trump could be Speaker of the House, right? He could get reelected because, you know, you don't have to actually be a member of Congress in order to be elected to Speaker. And people like Andy Biggs from Arizona have hinted that maybe they want him to be in office. We have a sort of a stalled out light situation here. I'm trying not to get hit by a car, but I'm waiting for the walk signal. Haven't gotten it. You know. Come on, give it to me, man. We got a green. All right, we're going. So the situation is Raskin is a smart guy, but he also has a high level of TDS that is unfortunately infecting his entire body. And so we have to ask ourselves, what is the reality here? Is he sincere in his belief that potentially Trump could take over the House speakership? Because that's kind of insane. And even CNN was like sort of laughing at him on this. She's like, are you serious, Raskin? And he's like, oh no, seriously, it could happen. Trump could take over the country. And then the other side of me, you know, the cynical side of me says that this is just that wedge, right? It's a huge issue. They know that Trump makes people feel a way. And a big part of their strategy, evidently, right? This was being communicated, and it looked like it was a terrible strategy when the red wave was afoot. But the Democrats spent a ton of money on supporting MAGA candidates during the primaries because they thought that in the generals they would be more easily beatable. And when you take a look at Kari Lake's loss, when you take a look at Joe Kent's loss, you know, I think these, and Blake Masters, right? I think these are actually good candidates with the traditional, you know, retail politics skills, and including Joe Kent. You know, that guy's like an American hero, you know, I mean, like legitimately, if you just look at his bio. And so if these candidates are not, you know, in favor anymore, and they're losing, you know, the question is why. But it's going to be an interesting narrative shift, okay? When Trump comes out and makes that announcement, what does the rest of the Republican Party do? They're going to, I guess, declare. And so the Civil War will begin. But none of this stuff feels healthy to me. It feels like Raskin and the Democrats want both sides to just beat each other to death. Or conversely, maybe he does actually believe it. You know, I don't know. Maybe they really do think that America is on the brink and Trump is on the verge of riding into control of the country again. And he could be. but not through the speakership. Not as Speaker of the House, obviously. So he'll announce tonight, and we'll see what all of that looks like. But most of the news, I'm going to imagine, is going to be about that. Now, another question I had is whether the same people cover it, because the media has really focused and sort of shifted pretty aggressively. Remember that in 2016, a big criticism of the media was that they gave Trump billions and billions of dollars of free media, free advertising that helped propel him over Hillary. And so we wonder if they're going to do that again. Because that sort of brought the country to his side in many ways. Dave Chappelle had an interesting speech over the weekend, monologue on SNL, and he brought Trump up. And he said that Trump is an honest liar. He said, you know, all of these other politicians are just essentially liars. But Trump's an honest liar. Trump came in and said, oh yeah, oh no, yeah, they're ripping you off big time. How do we know that? Well, because I was paying them and I was working with them to rip you off. You understand that? And that's exactly right. I mean, we watched that happen very quickly. And people thought, what? Who is this person? And how did this truth just suddenly land on the airwaves? And it sort of shocked a bunch of people. But the question will be if that same feeling exists out there and whether the media will sort of promote it and whether it will be received by America in that way. Or is it now that the media will continue to promote it because they think it's a disadvantage, right? Previously, it was about clicks. It was about money and clicks. And then, because they thought that Trump was never going to win. Then he won, and they go, oh crap, we have to reevaluate this. And so now the media, I think, has been brought into the fold on the strategy. And you're seeing the narrative, shift. I mean, there's people on Twitter who are capturing screenshots of all the Rupert Murdoch entities, Wall Street Journal, Fox News, New York Post, all of these entities that are sort of doing an about face on Trump. DeSantis is the new heir apparent and the Republican Party has moved on, and pull. Whether it's true or not, right? You might agree with it. You might say that's great news. The point is the Republican Party, or at least some of the infrastructure, is reorienting, and you can just see it. It's like, oh, somebody got a memo. And we make fun of this, of the Democrats, when this happens with the Democrats or with basically anybody. Somebody sends a memo out and everybody reorients. Feels like that's happening right now. The dog pile is afoot, and it's almost like they're trying to settle this early and quickly so that maybe they can build a bridge after the fact. If they can get rid of Trump like now, then maybe they can start to rebuild the party in their own vision, whatever that is. I still haven't heard one articulated. But that might be, one way through the mess, provided that Trump doesn't, or does in fact drop out, or that he doesn't run third party. Otherwise, we're going to see a President Gavin Newsom or somebody close, which is a scary thought. But another question is, of course, about timing. Trump's usually pretty good with timing. I'm not sure that this one is going to carry the same precision. Timing feels a little bit rushed. I do think that the energy of the country is sort of disappointed. I mean, people are very aggressive on Twitter today. People are killing each other over there in the comments all over the place. And it's because people are upset. People lost some elections that felt like they should absolutely be won. Joe Kent was one of them. Kerry Lake was another. Sort of like, how did they lose? Wow, things are way worse than we thought. But does the announcement, become overshadowed, or does it carry that same sort of tainted energy with it? I don't know. Or does it reinvigorate the party? Does it reignite the base, in particular Trump's base, to spring into action? And do we start to see a message coalesce around these candidates? Not sure that that's going to be the case, but we will, of course, see. And so, my friends, it's going to be a busy day. You can see we are downtown here. Everybody's getting to work, getting to where they need to go. It's a busy morning down here today. And we'll have a lot of news to attend to as the day unfolds. But hopefully you're having an amazing day. I was going to show you some sunshine, but we're blocked by the buildings. But we will be back today with our regular show at the regular time, because it's going to be, actually it's going to be a little early today. I forgot to mention that. The show should be about 1 hour earlier today, 5 p.m. Eastern. Yes, because I have a dinner that I'm looking forward to attending, and I have to do that tonight. But until then, my friends, till showtime, I hope you're having an amazing day, getting some fresh air wherever it is you are, and I look forward to seeing you tonight. Bye-bye.